first principles thinking, becoming a master problem solver like Elon Musk. If you want to solve extremely difficult problems in your life and achieve any goal you desire, Elon Musk's way of thinking might help you do just that. In many interviews, Musk has emphasized that his success in business comes from his way of thinking and reasoning using first principles thinking. Elon Musk, the founder of the aerospace company SpaceX and co-founder of the electric vehicle company Tesla, has applied this method of thinking based on fundamental principles to solve all kinds of problems. Globally, only 4 entities have mastered the technology of launching and recovering spacecraft: the United States, Russia, China, and SpaceX under Elon Musk's leadership. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, but at the age of 17, he emigrated to Canada and later to the United States, where he pursued dual degrees in physics and economics at the University of Pennsylvania. After graduating, he enrolled in graduate school at Stanford University but dropped out to co-found a company called Zip2, which provided location-based services to help businesses establish their presence on the internet. He started this company with his brother, Kimball Musk, in 1999. At the age of 28, Musk sold Zip2 to Compaq and quickly became a millionaire. He then used the proceeds to launch an online payment service called X.com, which was later renamed PayPal. Musk eventually sold PayPal to eBay and left the company with $180 million. Months before the eBay deal was finalized, Musk was on a beach in Brazil. However, he had no plans for retirement. Instead, he was reading a book about rocket propulsion. The man who had once founded PayPal now set his sights on outer space. Musk founded SpaceX with the bold goal of expanding life beyond Earth, transforming humanity into a multiplanetary civilization to prevent extinction. He believes that, based on current data, humans might be the only conscious beings in the universe. Musk stated that this fragile flame of consciousness must be preserved. If we can set foot on other planets, human consciousness can endure far longer than if we remain confined to Earth, which is vulnerable to destruction by an asteroid or other catastrophic event. However, when Musk tried to purchase a rocket to send spacecraft to Mars, he was shocked by the exorbitant price, $130 million in the US market. He turned to the Russian market, but even there, the cost was still a staggering $21 million per rocket. These prices were unsustainable, even for a millionaire like Musk. Despite the high costs, Musk was determined to pursue his goal. He began applying first principles thinking to analyze the problem. Musk refused to accept that rockets inherently needed to be so expensive. Instead, he broke down the rocket into its smallest components, examined the raw materials required to build it, and compared their market prices. He discovered that a rocket's cost was at least 50 times higher than the cost of its raw materials. Musk concluded that if humanity wanted to reach Mars, we would need to completely revolutionize rocket manufacturing technology. Rather than relying on used rockets, especially outdated ones from Russia, this realization led to the founding of SpaceX. In today's video, we will explore first principles thinking in detail, although the video may be a bit long and mentally challenging. If you are patient enough to watch it through and practice this way of thinking for 1 to 2 years, you'll find that most of the problems you previously struggled to solve in life, work, or study can now be addressed with confidence and clarity. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let's get started. The video will cover 4 main topics. What is first principles thinking? How can we develop first principles thinking? How does Elon Musk apply first principles thinking? How can we practice thinking in terms of first principles? What is first principles thinking? First principles thinking, also known as reasoning from first principles, is a way of viewing the world through the lens of physics. It involves breaking everything down to its most fundamental truths and reasoning upward from there, rather than accepting the surface-level attributes of things. In simpler terms, when looking at a problem through first principles thinking, we peel back each layer to uncover the core essence of the issue and then reason from that essence to make decisions. In reality, however, people tend to rely on something called analogy thinking, a way of thinking based on comparisons. When faced with a challenge, our first instinct is often to quickly search for similar situations we've encountered or seen others handle in the past and apply those solutions to the current situation. The advantage of analogy thinking is that it's easy, doesn't require much mental energy, and often works. However, it doesn't help us truly understand the essence of the work we're doing. Instead, it leads to repetitive results, often with errors, and rarely produces innovation or significant change. As Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, pointed out in his book 0 to 1, relying on historical experiences for imitation is meaningless. He explains that every moment in business happens only once. A future Bill Gates will not create another operating system like Microsoft. A next Larry Page or Sergey Brin will not build another search engine like Google. And, of course, a future Mark Zuckerberg will not create another social network like Facebook. If you imitate them, you won't learn anything. Instead, first principles thinking is like going back to the raw building blocks of music, musical notes, and composing an original song from scratch. Elon Musk acknowledges that this way of thinking requires a great deal of mental energy because it involves discarding existing beliefs. But when you break down problems and question everything you think you know until you reach the fundamental truths, it can provide a unique perspective for solving problems. This approach is far more effective than merely skimming the surface or blindly following conventional methods. How to develop first principles thinking. To think in terms of first principles. The first step when encountering a problem is to stop assuming that the current situation is unchangeable. Don't blindly accept your current beliefs and assumptions as true. If we fail to question inherited ideas and old conventions, they will limit our creativity. Instead, question assumptions, beliefs, and conventional solutions that others are using. Dig deeper and try to view everything from a fundamental truth perspective. Be curious about why people hold certain views. For example, are there specific boundaries in your field that everyone believes cannot be crossed? Is this truly the case? Or is it simply something people assume to be impossible? Asking questions is key to uncovering first principles because the most important part of problem solving isn't the method you use. It's asking the right questions to get to the root of the problem. Albert Einstein once said, "If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. Once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes." Elon Musk agrees. The question is often harder than the answer. If you can properly phrase the question, the answer is the easy part. So how do you ask the right questions? One approach is the Socratic method, a systematic process of questioning to test beliefs and assumptions in order to uncover the truth. This method typically involves 6 types of questions. Clarification questions. Why do I think this? What exactly am I thinking? Assumption questions. How do I know this is true? What if I think the opposite? Reason and evidence questions. Why do I believe this? What evidence supports this? Perspective questions. How do others view this? Are there alternative viewpoints? Consequence questions. What happens if I'm wrong? What are the consequences of this decision? Questioning the question itself. Why do I think this way? Am I asking the right question? Whenever you think you know something, ask yourself, how do I know this is true? Continue questioning until you reach an undeniable truth. Once you've found that foundation, you can start building a solution. Another effective tool is the 5 Whys technique, developed by Sakichi Toyoda, founder of Toyota. This technique involves repeatedly asking why 5 times in a row to uncover the root cause of a problem. For example, when a welding robot at Toyota stopped working, why did the robot stop? The circuit overloaded, causing a fuse to blow. Why did the circuit overload? The bearing was not properly lubricated. Why wasn't the bearing lubricated? The lubrication pump wasn't functioning properly. Why wasn't the pump working? The filter was clogged with metal shavings. Why was the filter clogged? There was no filter on the pump. The root cause was identified. The pump lacked a filter. This method helps you dig deeper into the core of a problem rather than just addressing its symptoms. How Elon Musk uses first principles thinking. 1. Reducing battery costs at Tesla. When Tesla was developing electric vehicles, they faced a major challenge. Battery costs were extremely high, around $600 per kilowatt hour, and this price had remained stable for years. Most people accepted that batteries were expensive because that's just how it is. However, Musk and Tesla's engineers didn't accept this. They analyzed the components of a battery, examined the market prices of raw materials, and realized that if they manufactured the batteries themselves, the cost could be reduced to just $80 per kilowatt hour. This led Tesla to build its own battery production facilities, significantly lowering costs and making electric vehicles commercially viable. 2. Controlling costs at SpaceX. Musk noticed that components in the aerospace industry were often 10 times more expensive than in the automotive industry. Instead of accepting these prices from suppliers, he decided to manufacture many parts in-house. For instance, when a supplier quoted $120,000 for a certain engine component, Musk tasked his engineers with creating it for just $5,000. As a result, about 70% of SpaceX's rocket components are produced internally, allowing the company to control costs, quality, and production speed. 3. Reusing rockets. Rocket manufacturing is extremely costly, and traditionally, rockets were used only once. NASA had previously tried to reuse space shuttles, but the refurbishment costs were too high. Musk, however, questioned, why can't all spacecraft be reusable? In December 2015, SpaceX successfully landed the first stage of its Falcon 9 rocket back on Earth vertically. Since then, SpaceX has reused numerous rockets, reducing the cost of space missions to less than 1/3 of what they used to be. Practicing first principles thinking. Take a moment to think about a recent problem you've faced. Write down all the reasons why you think the problem is difficult. And for each reason, ask yourself, how do I know this is true? Keep questioning until you uncover a fundamental truth. First, you might not solve the problem right away, but if you persist in testing different solutions, you'll eventually find a better answer. For example, when searching for information on Google, we often only read the articles that appear on the first page. However, these articles are often optimized for visibility rather than reliability. Learn to think deeper and seek out trustworthy sources like books, scientific papers, or experts in the field. Elon Musk views knowledge as a semantic tree. Ensure you understand the fundamental principles, the trunk and main branches, before diving into the details, the leaves and smaller branches. Without a strong foundation, detailed knowledge has nothing to anchor itself to. Conclusion. First principles thinking is like peeling back the layers of an onion to uncover the core essence of a problem. While it's challenging to practice, it's the only way to create groundbreaking solutions. Question current assumptions using the Socratic method or the 5 whys technique, and simplify complex issues to their core truths. At the same time, broaden your knowledge across various fields, as combining insights from different disciplines often leads to unexpected innovations. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and let's continue exploring the power of first principles thinking together.